Good afternoon, folks. It's the man all the way, George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, it's been a while since I did my interview, and today is the 1st of December. Christmas time is here. Happiness. I used to love the Charlie Brown movies, cartoons. But I hope y'all get ready for the holidays. I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving. I enjoyed mine. And here we have a special guest. One lady who has been in the bodybuilding sport for quite some time. She competes in women's physique open, as you might well call it. And this is one Miss Jodi Lyons. Hello, Miss Lyons. Welcome to the show. And how are you doing?
George, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Now, this is a good question to ask. How did you get, I heard from some reviews how you got into it. But for people who are just watching you and knowing about you, how did you start into bodybuilding?
So I crossed over into women's physique bodybuilding in 2014. I was doing CrossFit. My brother's a CrossFit trainer. So I was doing CrossFit with him 2009 to about 2012. And then decided, I met a friend of mine who I've known for a long time who was like, why don't you just cross over, like do the diet? And he took me under his wing. Long story short, I was addicted from 2014. And I've been doing it since then. So,
So what's the life of being a woman in the sport of bodybuilding? What are your biggest things that you like about the sport?
Well, I love the responsibility, the discipline, what I can push myself through. It gives you, like a sense of confidence in yourself. I believe that the more you do, like I feel like do well on stage. A lot of people have stage fright, but I've been a dancer most of my life. So that's something that like I love. It's all doing the work outside of the gym that was more challenging to me than getting on stage. So, it's the journey, it's the growth. It helps me battle. I've been diagnosed with level 1 bipolar disorder. So it does help me with a growth process in myself and channel certain emotions and helps me.
Hello?
Go back.
Hello?
So
I got you.
Okay. Helps me. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can't hear you.
Yeah. You hear me?
No, I can't hear you.
Okay. All right. Just tell those good folks. That's how it happens sometimes in TV land. And give her a minute. All right. You're on mute. Okay, there you go. All right. And you were saying again. Uh-oh. All right. Oh, we just lost connection with Jodi. Give her a few minutes. It's always something. Oh, there's my man. There's my man, Brooke Burrell. I say.
There I am again.
Welcome back. Oh, shout out to one of my people who subscribe to my channel, who follows, one Mr. Brooke Burrell. I'm a big fan of All the Way George Page, which my big homie with the ultimate Emperor G Money, aka George. Yeah, Brooke is a fan of. He comes out here. He's a fan of my podcast. He's a fan of the real ladies too. Sure. And that's the thing is I mentioned before with female bodybuilding. I think your fan base is going to be. It's largely male.
Sure.
And yeah, because people like I was telling somebody a while back how you break down the fan base between the two classes, between the women and the men. The men fan base is going to be mostly like this: guys who are fans of bodybuilding, guys who are fans of the men, and you might have a good number of women. But then you break down with the women's class, it's mostly going to be men, and they might have a good number of women, but it's mostly majority of men. Now, when you're out, because out and about, and what are you what kind of feeling you get from people when they approach you?
Oh, it's always so mixed. But you'd be so shocked to know that it's mostly always women that are the most complimentive, to be honest. I find I work in a restaurant atmosphere, so I have people in there drinking, eating, whatnot. So for me, it's really, it tends to be more of women that are like, how do I get like that? Like, how long did it take? Or they seem to be a little bit more intrigued by it than males do with me. I don't know if it's an intimidation factor or how I carry myself or whatnot, but it's really not that many. If it is the men, they are very, I don't know how to say it. Like they're very responsive to like, what I've done to get there. So they know like the hard work that it takes, but it's mostly women that give you compliments and give you the accolades for it, to be honest. That's what I encounter a lot.
That's good.
Kids like stare at you, or like when you're walking through the airport going, to a show or whatnot, like that's where you get the most looks. I was with my mom one day walking through the airport and she was just like, why is everybody staring at you? And I was like, I know, this is just how it is, because it's not seen very often, so it's almost like you're going,
Yeah, because like like I say, when you're going through the show, because you're already you're shredded, you're popping, you're vascular. You got guys who like, wow, what you see a superhero or something, or you might get some, you have a good number of guys who get excited about it. We see it, some people might get saying, well, that's weird. I mean, but it's all about who you are as a person, and if people have their prejudice, there's nothing you can do about it. Let me say right here, this is from my brother, Brooke Burrell. Yo, George, where do you find all these beautiful women? Oh, she is a supermodel, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm in off season now, so my face is finally coming back into its full state of what it should look like. So I am totally embracing this time right now.
Yeah, and he says also, Miss Jodi, you are very, very, very mesmerizing.
Oh, wow.
and like to quote my man, the Joker, right here, and you are beautiful.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect. I love the Dark Knight movies. I might be saying a few quotes from every now and then, but the thing is also like this. There's a lot of a while back I did some talk where it's so much you put to the sport as a competitor. Is and not much you put back, because we talk about how really, you ladies, you work just as hard as the men.
Sure.
You put in just as much as amount of time. You work out and diet, but you don't give as much as back as you should. And I mentioned it's expensive.
We're still working on equality here. I never really can quite put my finger on why. I mean, maybe it's because it was such a male-dominated sport. It was originated from males. So, but now, I mean, it's coming into such a new, new state of mind and a new world that we're living in now, like where I feel like, just as much as the work that they do, we do. So, I mean, it's got to stop bumping up somewhere where, it's a very expensive passion to have, for sure. It's not cheap by any means, and I found it late in my life. So, and I do very well. So that's the thing that keeps pushing me to do it. I'm not sponsored. I do everything on my own. Everything is out of my pocket, so it's like still trying to chase a dream and sacrificing some parts of my life to get out there every year, so, but I mean, I don't think I would have been doing it for so long if I wasn't doing well and know that there's something inside of me that I can get to that big stage one day.
Yeah. And anybody if you listen to this video, if you're not watching now, you can watch it later. Comment, like, subscribe. I have Miss Jodi's social media information in the description. Also, she also has a Venmo. So she has a PayPal. So if you are somebody who's interested to donating to this lady to help her in her passion for this sport, it's gladly useful. I know things are a little tough right now. People are still trying to get back to work. Hoping we get another stimulus check, and just whatever if you can donate something, if you can, just a little something. You can't just support these ladies, support her and all the ladies who compete in the sport, because they most definitely need support. Because it's a tough sport to be in, and a lot of people have a lot of, like I said, put a lot of prejudice. Once again, this is I would say is your future boyfriend, Brooke Burrell. Miss Jodi, during your on season, what is your training regimen and like? And do you have any advice for a aspiring bodybuilder in a wheelchair? Because he's in a wheelchair, so he often asks questions like, "What advice can you give to him?" And he's a diabetic. What advice can you give to him?
I always say it's all about like sticking to the diet. It's not easy. And I can't even imagine what it's like to have diabetes, I mean, that's such a challenging disease, that unfortunately, if you don't stick to a certain kind of diet, it can be really detrimental to your health. And my heart goes out to you,
Mm-hmm.
I usually try to say the one thing is consistency, sticking to a plan, like sticking to a routine, doing stuff that's not very taxing on your joints, especially if you're older or if you're in a wheelchair. Like myself, I train very smart. I don't push the envelope. You know what I mean? So I just make sure that I activate. And during my on seasons, I'm really not lifting too crazy heavy because I mean, your body's depleted. You're at like a very low caloric diet. And this is the time right now where I'm in the improvement season where I'm noticing like the more food that I'm eating, the more power and strength I have. So I'm trying to push myself a little bit more here while I have the food that I'm eating and my joints are highly lubricated.
Yeah, and I know we just had Thanksgiving. So did you spend it with your family, and did you dip into temptation?
I sure did. Shelby is my coach, Shelby Stein. So he did put out an Instagram post to all of his competitors, like, you can do whatever you want today. You want to stick to the diet, stick to the diet. If you feel that you want to veer off and do something, like, know what you're doing. I mean, it's all about based on like how you want to deal with your holiday today. You're open to do whatever you want, basically. And I've been sticking to the plan kind of since we got back from Legions. I had a photo shoot yesterday with a bunch of women that I'm doing a documentary with. So I wanted to kind of stay in shape for that because I was in like a really like tight dress that I was in before I went to the show. So I wanted to not, blow the zipper out of that thing. So I tried to stay real like as tight as I could. But I did. I went out. There's a really awesome farm.
You got it? Hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully I can back good. So there's an awesome place up the street from my work, and I went and got a blueberry crumble pie. They're known for their cider donuts. Their cider donuts are insanely good. And I got like a green bean casserole, and I brought it down to my brother's house. And there was so much food down there to begin with anyway. So everything that was left, no one ate my blueberry crumble dessert because everyone ate everything else. So they said, take your pie home. And I said, okay. So I ended up taking it home, putting it in the fridge. And then the whole night when I got up to like use the bathroom, I ate a quarter of it. And then I get back to bed. And then I get back up and eat another quarter of it. And then go back to bed. Same thing till the pie was gone the next morning. So
I'll tell you the story. Like I said, I used to weigh a lot bigger because when I was taking my mom again on the weight, I was like about 460. I dropped down to 420. Okay. And was it a little bit before my birthday? I had my birthday about a week ago.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And
You're a Sagittarius?
No, it's been a couple of weeks. I am a Scorpio.
Oh, look out, George.
Yeah. Anyway, the week before my birthday, my sister brought me, a 12-pack box of Krispy Kremes. You know, Krispy Kreme is, and it's like I ate maybe a couple of donuts every day. Every once a day, and then until the box was gone. I mean, it's sometimes like that. I can understand. It's like, excuse folks, her dog is calling her, so she has to take a minute.
He gets very anxious. He has separation anxiety. So
he's your baby. He's your baby.
He's my big baby.
But anyway, I was saying sometimes he's like, sugar, and like I know what a lot of times I have some of you ladies. The thing is that sugar, especially donuts and carbs, it's like crack. You be like Pookie, New Jack City, be calling me, man. Be calling your name.
I crave so much. Like the last 2 weeks before the shows. It's always donuts. Always.
Yeah, I know some places who love donuts. I mean, or a burger or something like that. Here we have with us again your future ex-boyfriend, Mr. Brooke Burrell. Beautiful Miss Jodi. Besides the most awesome sport in the world of bodybuilding, what are other sports that you were into? Now she says she was in CrossFit. Now, how long were you in CrossFit?
3 years.
Mm-hmm.
3 years. That was where I actually learned how to like functionally lift and lift heavy with good form. So I was very lucky because my brother was a CrossFit trainer. And then I actually started working out with a lady trainer there that, was more my speed, that like, she was very strong. So I wanted to learn as much as I could through her. So I did. And then I ended up crossing over because I wasn't into the whole put your name on the board kind of thing, or like I'll be like super transparent here. I smoked for a long time.
Yeah, I got a picture of you. It's a great.
Yeah, like maybe so, like anywhere from 15 to maybe 20 years. I think I started like 13 years old. So I finally quit 5 years ago, but I just don't have like the gas like anymore. I don't know if like my lungs have been like damaged from smoking my whole life, but I just don't have like that full take in through the nose out the mouth kind of deal. So I kind of struggle with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that has kind of inhibited me from doing like the whole CrossFit thing, because that's like a go, go, go constant, like don't let the foot off the gas kind of deal. Like with bodybuilding, it's an art. So it's like, building little by little by little by little. We're not like gassing ourselves out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're like with CrossFit, I see you should watch some of the shows. You have to do a lot of running back and forth. You have to do a lot of back. It's almost similar to, I remember early days when fitness started. It was about the same way with fitness when it first started, and they used to have your little workouts and stuff like that. But then it's changed. It went down to, I remember it used to like 3 categories, and then it's down to two. Here again is Brooke Burrell. Bodybuilding being a very hardcore sport, which requires dietary discipline. How do you handle the holidays like Christmas, Thanksgiving, and no pig out of, or get lazy? And that's the question. Like, we just mentioned how she just went to her brother's and she had the pie and, she ate the pie. But yeah, that's the tough part about it. Especially this is a year where I think a lot of people are competing. If you ever saw, as you know, they just have the list for the Toronto Super Show this week. Person that you competed against is competing this show. Yeah, Ivy, and she's been busy. I mean, between her and Natalia. I mean,
yep.
Do you think do you have a limit of when? Because I know you did the Rise of Phoenix this year, the the Sports Legion show.
Yep.
And that was just those two shows you did.
Yeah, we were going to go into the Atlantic coast. With Shelby, it was the first, year out of the gate with him. So when we went into the Rising, I told him, of course, you always want to win first place. Like I always have it in me that I know one day I will get that first place. But I told him my expectations were top 3. And we did come out of there with the 3rd place. So we did have Legions as a backup show. It was always on the roster for us to do. And to be honest, I've never done a show back to back like that before, like with 5.5 weeks. You get off that diet for like 3 or 4 days, and then all of a sudden you're back to like no carbs. And it's like after dieting for 7 months. So it was kind of a challenge for me. I learned a lot about myself within that 5.5 weeks, but we did push on and do that. And I got the list, or we saw the list, and I saw all 3 Olympians were coming to Legion Sports Fest. So I'm very blessed to have been compared on a stage of 3 girls that were at the biggest show in the world. Of course I wanted to go to that show because Shelby was like, you're millimeters away from first. Let's push and do Legions. And then of course you just never know who's going to show up to these shows. You know what I mean? Week after the Olympia with them, Natalia, placed second, but I mean, she likes to do a lot of shows every year. She usually likes to do like 3 or 4 shows. So the Olympia was her first show of the year. So why not push and do Legions? And then why not? And then I found out after that all 3 were going to the Atlantic coast too. So I just decided to shut it down.
Yeah.
I'm going to the Atlantic coast because my best friend, her pro debut in figure was then. So I was just going to support her. But I was going to be down there anyways. But as like the day went on and I knew I was like fighting Emily for like that third place spot. It was her and I, third or fourth. And then I heard that they were all pushing on to do the next one. I was just like, it's just time for me to improve. You know what I mean? Like kind of shut it down. So this is a really awesome time of year to start eating food and the weight on. So I'm taking full advantage of it.
Yeah, because I mean, with Tara, she's just 26. She's young. Young girls, yeah, they just want to keep on going. Ivy, she's a little older, and I'm surprised she's even doing the Torontos. You know, I was in contact with some ladies. You have to, when you go to Canada, you have to be vaccinated. Okay. And you know, you have to have a PCR test, which means that you have to make sure you know that you're negative of the virus. And it's just a lot to go through, you know. But with bodybuilding, it was a very small lineup. There's only 4 ladies this year. I'm surprised. I should be surprised, but you know, it just.
And even talking about doing it too, but her coach was like, you gotta shut it down because she's so young too. You know what I mean? You don't want to blow yourself out before you have time to like really peak. You know, so that was very smart, unlike her coaches. And so she was thinking about doing that and then decided to not do it and take an off season too. So,
and yeah, I think with
get that qualification in, no problem. She's probably the fast one to win.
And with hello, you still there?
Yeah, can you see me?
I can hear you.
See,
what's going on? Hello. Are you all right, Jodi? Jodi. Don't tell me you froze.
Frozen.
Let me check out something quick.
I'm moving around.
Is it me? Shit, don't tell me this thing. You hear me?
In my backyard, I can hear you.
I can hear you.
You can't see you. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, it's that with anything with technology.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
And
but like I said, you know, it's just that's a smart thing to do is to, you know, take the time and to stop and to give yourself time to rebound. I mean, you know, there's some ladies who I follow that they said they only want to do 3 shows a year, and that was it. And that's a smart thing to do. You want to take a time from one show between another. But others, like I've seen, are jumping from one show to another. I've talked about this how, you know, especially that Natalia, she's top 2, she's number 2 at the Olympia.
Yeah.
That then you're taking away qualification from somebody who might want to get a chance to go to Olympia, doing both those shows.
Yeah. I mean, but it is one of those things though too, just like you said about, you know, being supported or trying to get as much money as we can. I mean, who's to say she shouldn't run after every check and get $2,000 and $3,000? I mean, the girl just put herself through school. And so I don't know. I mean, I feel like I wish there was like something different that they could figure out where if there is someone that's qualified, just like how they do it with the pro card, they bump it down to the second person. Or, I mean, I know eventually down the line, they allow, and I think they just changed it this year too, though, but it was like the top 5 that have the top 5, the most points. So whatever, how many spots that someone who was already qualified took, they should tack it on to the end and allow those people to that accumulated points.
Yeah, because that's fair. Because you know what, that gets up because you take away opportunity for somebody else. You already have your opportunity.
Yeah,
and you know we want to be supportive, but as a competitor, you feel like that's taking away opportunity for myself.
Yeah,
you know, maybe because you think about it. If she wasn't there, I would probably take the second. We get the first part, and then you probably would maybe get second or third. You know, here again we get Brooke Morale, beautiful Miss Jodi. Do you ever have days where you're saying I'm tired, I'm too tired, I'm not working out today? Do you ever have those days where you say like, you know what, I'm just, you know, that bed's called me, man. It's just like that my pillow is
definitely not during preps. During preps, I don't allow myself to have those days. Even if I am feeling like I want to have one of those days, I am like lucky enough to be able to talk myself out of that. I've learned how to do that now. When I was with an old coach of mine, usually when I like stopped prepping, I would be isolated for like 5 weeks. Like he would be like, you have to get back to the gym. You have to go. And I'm like, no, I love my bed. I love my being around my animals. And, it's almost like you go back to like that comfortable feeling that's like easy to be in, but to be honest, now that I've like been working with Shelby, like I have a newfound love for this journey, and the diet and the consistency. And now I'm just fell in love with bodybuilding again.
Yeah. We got another fellow, James Henry. He's coming through. Says, "Hi everyone. Hi James Henry. Welcome. Say hello to Miss Lyons, and we appreciate you coming through. Like I said, and the thing is, with the sport, it's a lot of work. You have to have a lot of commitment to it.
Yeah.
As I said again, bodybuilding I mentioned before is it's a tough sport. Some people don't see it as like like a regular sport, like like football, basketball, baseball, hockey, all the others, boxing. But the thing is, you are athletes.
Mm-hmm.
You work out. It's hard. You have to go diet. You may not have to do the like everybody else does. Like if you're a professional athlete, you're running or you're shooting a ball or you're fighting. You have to be prepared when you compete. And the thing is, with your sport gets a finger pointing at you, saying like, you're on steroids. Yeah, using this and using that. And as recently I did some videos where we had some passing aways just in this whole year. I mean, and there's always good point figures, but there's been people, athletes outside of bodybuilding who have died from whatever reason or whatever something else. But it's just that bodybuilder gets the brunt of all the blame when it comes down to the use of drugs or anything else.
But I think it's George. It's like it's everybody's own personal choice, right? I mean, I'm going to say right now that whatever I take for my shows is not exactly what someone else takes for their shows. Do you know what I mean? So some people can go really low with subs, or some people can go really high with subs. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people consider all the ones, she's on this, she's on that. And to be honest, I had a video that I did right before Rising, maybe like 10 days before, that almost went viral. It probably has like 96,000 views. And it opened up my Instagram account, like where, I mean, I must have added like about 5,000 or 6,000 followers just through that video alone. But what I, tended, like anyone that was just like, wow, like the detail or compliments me, like it opened me up for such criticism. Like, is she a man? Like, does she have hair on her back? Like, is she this? Like, does she have a penis? Like all this stuff. It's a girl with it's a guy with boobs. And I'm like, dude, this is just so awful. Like the hate that so many people, few people, I should say. It's all like the bottom dwellers, I call them. But, that can try to just spit out this hateful, awful, just narrative that they have no idea about. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you consider she's on steroids. It's like, okay, like, it is part of the game sometimes. But I know, being a 45-year-old woman, what I'm willing to sacrifice and what I'm not willing to sacrifice. I have no room to look 45. You know what I'm saying? So it does make me a little nervous for some of these young girls that I do see. And I'm not saying that I know whatever they're on or whatnot, but doing and pushing the envelope so young that like they may not be able to dial that back in.
Yeah.
Do you know, they may not be able to bounce back from that, which is scary, but I had a scare myself maybe in 2015 where it was like I looked at myself and it was like, this is just not the way that I want to look. Like I don't like how my face looks. I don't feel like I looked feminine. And once you lose your femininity as a woman, you don't have anything.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing about I talked about this, how you have trolls out there, we call them trolls, who just don't understand that you are into this is your part of your life being an athlete. You still are a woman, and 45, amazingly 45, I'm 47 and you and you look amazing compared to me, and I'm just, and that's why I admire you ladies. That's why I'm a fan, because I admire what y'all, put yourself through. And if people don't understand that, well, don't say nothing about it. shut your mouth, mind your business. Let the people who really like, seeing you ladies. And yes, the debate is that, the boobs thing. Yes, it's one thing you do because of aesthetic reasons. From some points, it makes you more as a feminine, because breast is considered more feminine than anything for a female.
But there's a lot of girls, plenty, a handful of women that I can honestly say that don't have breast implants or whatnot, look phenomenal in my division. Actually, one girl I competed with that I was so like blown away by her chest definition, and then we were talking like backstage, and it was like, oh, I might want to get boobs, and I was like, do not, like, don't, like, you look so great with how your chest looks right now, like that, you know what I mean? When it's that much developed, like, I wouldn't want to see someone make a mistake, you know what I mean? Like when it looks beautiful the way that it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like good example of that, like Sarah Vilgas. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like it doesn't necessarily, if it works for one girl, doesn't mean it's going to work for another. Do you know what I mean? Like, especially if you, like me, I don't have that much chest development. That's always been like an area of improvement for me. So when I see a girl that has like this broad chest that's like thick and defined down the middle, it's like, don't even try it.
Yeah, don't. Like I said, not everybody is meant to have breast implants. Like I said, or silicone balloons. It's not for you. You shouldn't do it. I've seen some great female bodybuilders in the past who are just beautiful, great chests. And sometimes the breast implants, they work with others. It's all depending on the person. Once again, we have Brooke Burrell. You have a big fan. Mr. Burrell, he is Miss Jodi. When did you decide that bodybuilding was the sport for you?
2014. I did my first show. I did that Jay Cutler Classic here in Boston. To be honest, I was ready to be done. Like, because I've never dealt with like that diet before. And then I didn't get the outcome that I thought it was because I listened to like word on the street and everybody else. And I didn't have the confidence in myself to believe what everybody else was seeing. So maybe it just didn't translate. But I was pushed to do another show 2 weeks later that, thank God I was, even though I didn't want to. And I ended up winning. So after that, I was like, all right, it's all about, it's taught me that even if you don't have the outcome that you want, you can eventually get that outcome that you want if you keep pushing yourself. Like the only way, come on.
He's jealous. So let him come on. He's jealous.
He's so jealous. Come sit with me. Come sit with me.
Come here, pup.
Come on, let me rub your chest. Okay, I know.
Yeah, pup.
I know.
Yeah.
At least. Mom's situation is very, very, very important. But yeah, I after that, like, it's just taught me so much about losing. Has taught me so much that it's actually helped me win. So I've been able to like deal with things that I never could deal with in the past from like those first two shows. It like helped me with not I don't know how to say it. You're not everybody's cup of tea.
It's always a thing with people because the idea of what they want is, you may not be the person that they like, but then, it's always what's everybody has. Everybody has their favorites. Once again,
that likes you, you gotta keep your nose to the grindstone, I always say.
Yeah. And, once again, this is from your future ex-husband, Brooke Burrell. You don't look 45, Miss Jodi. You look 22.
Thank you so
and
much.
As far as the lames who criticize that they are jealous because they can't or do what you do because they are too lazy or weak-minded. And so yeah, it's true because you know what? It takes a lot because, to be committed, to be consistent, it takes a lot. As one of the shows I remember that you competed in.
A bad comment,
Yeah. And one show that I remember competing in was the 2019, Arnold Classic. Now, as you know, just recently, Arnold has decided to drop your division from his shows. So it's a quote from one of my favorite movies, Ra's al Ghul, my master Ra's al Ghul. He told me he walked quietly behind you and stabbed you in the heart. How's that feeling?
Yeah, it's not cool. Like I don't get where it's coming from, like at all. I mean, is it money? Like, is it not? Is it like it's? Why is it women's bodybuilding? I don't understand. It's like he's always been a person that knows where he came from and has always given back to the sport of bodybuilding. And now all of a sudden it's like we're gonna omit, which I think women's physique and women's bodybuilding, a lot of people enjoy our routines and what we put into that. Like I'm actually floored. I don't even know what to say, to be honest.
Yeah, because like I said, I'm a fan of Arnold. I'm like Arnold. I watch his movies. I remember watching Conan as a kid. You used to watch it. You remember back when we were kids, we used to show like there we go. You hear me? All right. And remember, like on Saturdays, he used to sell Lumen Siding and show Conan in the movie, and he showed like they're like, "Crom, I never prayed to you for." Not to hell with you.
Growing up, my dad would make me watch that with him, and I would be like, "Dad, I don't want to watch it. I hate when the ferrets fall in the fire."
Well, that's the Beastmaster, yeah.
Yeah, the Beastmaster. That's what it was. Yeah. But yeah, even Conan too. I mean, that was so great with Grace Jones. Like I watched all those movies with that, and it's heartbreaking because like I mean, even the compliments, the comments that he was making all this year, like really, really, like causing some serious controversy for himself and people backing out of his show, like supplement companies that don't even want to like deal with him anymore because of the stuff he said about freedoms and stuff. And it's just weird what's going on. I don't know, but I mean, I do commend Sarah for stepping up for our division and offering up that money if it is money. Like, I mean, because not many of us could do that. You know what I mean? So we're just sitting here waiting for answers and no one's giving an answer.
Yeah. And it's funny how he gets rid of your division.
Oh, and the 212.
Yeah. 212 too? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised.
Too.
Yeah. But then he keeps figure, which is almost pretty much like female bodybuilding, just lightweight.
I'm blown away. Is wellness there now?
Huh?
Not sure.
We're having technical difficulties again. Why is this? I don't know if it's on my end. Let me check something real quick. I don't know if it's on my end or it's hers. I think it might be Jodi. Let me do something real quick. If you can hear me, Jodi, I'm gonna do something real quick because I don't know. I think it might be on my end. I'm gonna do something real quick. We'll pause it for a minute. People are gonna have a little bit of a little. There you go. Got you back.
Got it.
You got it.
Got it.
All right. And that's good. And that's the thing is, they get rid of, your division, but they keep figure. So the question is, what's wrong with because figure is no different from physique, because because quite a few physique competitors who went up.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's quite a few figure competitors that are well on their way to women's physique.
Yeah. And and you would think, there shouldn't be a double standard. But it's debate.
I don't know if we're ever gonna get an answer. All I know is Dave Palumbo did an interview with Sarah, RX Muscle, and they're trying to still get answers, and she still hasn't heard back from them yet. So
we're probably gonna never get an answer because you know how it is with rich people. They have their reasons. But we're gonna move on from that. And you still have many other stages. As you have the Rising Phoenix / Arizona Pro.
Go back for 1 second though.
Yeah.
I'm very thankful that I did the Arnold Classic in 2019. When I first did my pro debut in 2018, I went out to the Tampa Pro. I picked the biggest show of the year, and I was like, let me just see where I stand with these girls. And in my head, I was like, if I finish top 10, that would be great. And I was blessed enough to come back with a 5th place finish there. So that enabled me to, back then it was top 5 gets the invite to the Arnold Classic. So I said to my coach, even though we didn't have much time in between, it was like 3.5 months. I said, who knows if I'll ever get this opportunity to do that show again? Let's just go now. And we did. And I ended up being the end of the pack, you know what I mean? But it was like where I finally stood on stage and had a perspective of little fish in a big pond. Do you know what I mean? Where it was just like, okay, so now I'm just going to take a little time off, put some size on and come back. So I'm thankful that I was able to do it when I did it. Because like I said, who knows if I'd ever get the opportunity to do it again.
Mm-hmm. This is from James Hearing. How was everybody's Thanksgiving or day off? You know, I don't have a day off. I don't work anymore. I'm out of work. I'm done.
My Thanksgiving was great. Thank you.
Yeah. And to Brooke Morale, once again, he was more of the fan of the cartoon Conan. Yeah, I think I like the cartoon. I still like the movies.
I do too.
Yeah. And the thing is I think as you say, you were doing a documentary. And I've seen a video of you. You also work out with the lady who did switch from your division up to women's bodybuilding, Jill Blonin, if I got her name right.
Yeah, she's still Diorio to me.
Mm-hmm. And I know she is. The question is, what's the when is the documentary gonna come out? Is she also in the documentary or just?
She's in the documentary. Yeah. We've had Ted Reed. He's an Emmy award-winning documentary producer, following all of us around for the past 2 years, getting our videos, getting our workouts, getting our last shows, just following us all around and getting our stories and what exactly the entails in female bodybuilding for us, like what we overcome, how we get to the stage, and the process. Because there's not really a documentary that just focuses on women.
Mm-hmm. There's so few because, as you know, there was a documentary, Supersize She's Relate on Jonah Thomas.
Yeah.
A dear lady who I interviewed, who I consider a friend, Atisha Thomas. She just did a documentary called I Am Tigress. I think there was a couple of MSNBC did a couple of documentaries about female bodybuilding.
Sure. Tisha?
Yeah.
I think, didn't she turn pro in
2016?
Yes, I think. Yes.
Yeah.
I remember going out to eat with her after the show in 2014 at Nationals.
Yeah, she's a great lady.
Cool.
A couple of times I might got late when we do this interview, and she just threatened to fight me. So
Well, she guys up, so
yeah. I told her like this: I'm a man, and this is a say. Last man standing. I ain't going out like that.
I wouldn't want to fight her.
Yeah, with a man, we got to stand for ourselves. My mama told me like this. My mama told me like this. No matter what, man, woman, or beast, they're gonna fight you. You're gonna fight. That's it. I know people are politically correct now, but sometimes, hey, you gonna come at me? I gotta defend myself. I gotta, if I gotta knock you out, And the thing is, it's just people need to get an education on you ladies and what you do. Remember one of the biggest bodybuilding documentaries of all time is always going to be Pumping Iron. And I remember that part at the end of the movie with
ones that are coming out, they'll have mostly it's all men dominant, but they'll throw in the women or fitness or something to kind of balance it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I know they did create the one of my favorite also was a Pumping Iron 2 with the women. And I love that. It was great to see. I remember, just see the opportunities these women get recognition. Sure. Because like I said, that's why I respect you ladies. It's just that you put a lot of work into it, and you don't get little reward. And the thing is, we mentioned about financial part is that's the thing for a lot of you. It's hard for you to make a living. Now you have a job, and that's a good thing. You have a job, but still, some ladies what they have to do to make income is some ladies I follow. They do OnlyFans. They do a lot of video sessions. They do one thing also which I was talking with a lady who told me as you do the show, especially you don't make into the money competition part of the show, you have to do photo sessions, video sessions. And I say, like, some ladies have to do from basically what I call them, the Beat the Meat websites. And that's what they really are, because, your fan base is generally males.
Yeah.
And it's just, if there was a way in which, as I said again, where they could really supplement more income into sport and into competitors, some ladies won't have to do that as alternative.
Yes. I haven't gone that route. Thank God. I mean, like, thank God. It's just not me. Like, more power to the women to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? I'm not a judger by any means at all.
It's not your thing.
Not my thing. No.
Yeah, I respect that, because that's just, I know a lady who told me one time she was offered like so much money to do some of these websites. We said she wouldn't do it. She would do if she do if it's tasteful, like she do like pictures and stuff like that and videos where it's very tasteful, very not too overly sexualized.
Yeah.
But and that's the thing is, you have to walk a fine line, because you want to attract your fan base. If you, like you said, you're on IG. You have your IG, and the guys come look and say, "Wow, look at your pictures, your workout videos, and you do the photo sessions. You do very something, like stuff I used for my slide when I did the introduction for this interview, and something's very tasteful,
Sure.
yeah, and that's the thing is that people don't think that you ladies can be attractive. Because one thing I do is on my channel, I do a series called Comparisons, where I take, like I did one with you and Robin Burney.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
me and Robin too have been at many of nationals together.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that we turned pro the same year.
I think, yeah.
And North Americans.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. And what was crazy is I just recognized her because it was always like in cross, like we just always smiled at each other or, hello. And at Legions was the first time I've like talked to her in a while. Like, I was like, how are you? Good to see you. I haven't seen her in like so long. And now that she's like out there doing her thing still. So it was crazy. I remember turning pro like that year with her. And then here we are in 2021. It's the first time we're like saying hello to each other since being out and about.
Mm-hmm. That's a good thing, because I think some people feel like there's always behind the scenes. There's, if you have, we cover which all you ladies, you are friendly. There's also that mentality that there's going to be some little caddies go around, but it's
sure. Absolutely. I mean, I've had myself at shows that where sometimes if I am channeling a little nervous energy or whatnot, I really tend to, be more social, to be honest, because it takes the attention off myself. So I'll give away myself, like, like try to like just channel that. But lately I've just been kind of going in with the mentality that, I'm trying to be my best self. So I have to find that balance of still pushing myself and being there for myself, but still being who I am. And that's a social Jodi Lyons, you know what I mean? And these past two shows that I've done, the Rising and the Legions, the group of girls that were at these shows were just so stellar. And like everybody just got along backstage. Like it was such a great vibe. Like that's what I took away from it. It was like no other shows that I've been to the years prior.
Yeah, because with the as you know, with the Rising Phoenix Arizona Pro, it was an all-ladies show.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to share, like I said earlier, you had to share the stage with the banana hammocks. It was just you ladies. And there used to be a show back in the day I used to remember was the Jantana. And it used to have a show in my state of North Carolina, as Charlotte, and sometimes I have it in Virginia. And it was one of the first only in its time standalone women's shows. It wasn't attached to like the Olympia was attached to Miss Olympia, or how Miss Olympia was attached to Miss Olympia, or how the Jantana was not the Jantana, the Miss International was attached to Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic.
Yeah.
It was a great opportunity for you ladies that you have your own stage. You didn't have to share with the men, and that's a great thing. And that's the thing is, it's hard for you to get the attention that you deserve compared to your male counterparts, because as I was talking about how money again, as you know, at the Olympia, Big Ramy walked away with nearly $500,000.
Mm-hmm.
And while the current Miss Olympia and also the current Miss Olympia Physique walked away with $50,000, and that's crazy. You would think, it's just
$150,000 less.
Yeah. And you would think, I would say like this. I know that everybody knows that the men are going to be the ones that want to take decisions. But at least I would say, being that you're the Miss Olympia, or if you're the women in your top women's league, I would say, how about $100,000? I mean, that could have helped really pay some bills. It put you in the black, and keep you from getting the red. So, some ladies still do the photo sessions because it helps put a little extra money in your pocket. But it will help set up for your next season, so you wouldn't have to do so much.
Sure. I mean, there's just so much that goes involved, like paying for the trips, the flights, the hair, the suits. Like it's a lot. I mean, you have to squirrel away some money during the off season so that or I got to get all my ducks in a row before I even started competing last year. It was like I had to get my dog neutered, and they had to have 2 big surgeries, and I'm like, I wouldn't be able to get
and one big thing, taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to pay taxes. It went out to Willie Nelson, went out to Al Capone. You got to pay taxes. This is from James Henry. Miss Jodi, I like your jacket. He loves your jacket. He loves your fashion.
I know. It's like, you know what I loved about it? It was like Bruins colors. It's the Legion Sports Fest jacket they gave us.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
They took very good care of us there, Chris Mins.
Yeah, a jacket like that I couldn't wear. I'd be like Chris Farley in Tommy Boy, fat guy in little coat. Why?
I think that's out of my dress on Monday. I think my girlfriend was trying to zip me up in the back, and I felt her put her hands down the back of my dress and move like my back fat to the front. And
that's the thing about with your bodybuilding, clothing. I'm starting to relearn clothing is really hard for you ladies because you're going to be wider up in the top, small in the waist, big in the I remember one lady said she really invests in leggings.
Yeah,
and that's really the only thing. Like jeans, it's hard to find. You might have to wear skinny jeans. You might have to beat up some 16-year-old for skinny jeans. If you're shopping.
I got this new wardrobe right now for the winter right now, and it's flannel, like a flannel, and I bought it like Eddie Bauer vest, so that like I wear leggings, a flannel, and my vest now, like out. Like it's just I don't even mess around with trying to wear anything like tight and cute, and
you just want to be comfortable.
Just comfortable, because like it's you're spending all this money too on stuff from Lulu, or like my other favorite like leggings on Instagram is Bombshell. Like I love their stuff and how it fits, but it's like it's like $89, $90, $100 a whack, like 4 leggings you want that fit you like the greatest, and then it's like you have to buy them in all different sizes from extra small to medium because you fluctuate,
Mm-hmm. So you got your off-season weight, and then you got your season weight, and that's when you get a little smaller.
Yes.
And the thing is, but if you could, anything you could change, be it yourself, be it the sport, what would it be?
What would it be? I just, for me, it's the journey for me. So, I feel like I wish I was a little bit more competitive. Like, and I feel like I'm getting there. Do you know what I mean? Like every show that I come out and I do, because, like I said, I'm 45. I'm going up against all these young girls, which is like really great to be able to still hang with them. You know what I mean? And I do have this dream in my mind. I know if I can, I just want the experience, So it would be to get a little bit more competitive. And
hello? Yeah. Well, we did hear a little bit of it, folks, because sometimes we're going in and out, but we still got her. And that's what she's talking about, how she thinks she would want to be more competitive. Is a competitor, and we respect that because it's a lot of hard work to be in this sport and to maintain a level, and especially we got to deal with competitors who've been competing a lot longer than you. And then you have up and coming young competitors coming in. That's so much, a lot of it. Hello? You're going in and out, Jodi. You're going in and out. Yeah. Give her a minute, folks. You know, there's one of these there's one of these things with technology, you know. Can you still hear me? You said, there you go. Just whoop it back in. You know, we just, like I said, technical difficulties is always a thing with. I can never really. Sometimes I get it. There we go. Getting okay. There we go. All righty. But like you were saying again.
So it's just to be a little bit more competitive. Like I said before at the start of the interview, is like I do battle with level 1 bipolar disorder, so that kind of handicaps me a bit. I feel like with my being very competitive, but it's something that, like, through these 5 years as a pro, my journey has like helped me learn how to be a little bit more competitive every time I get out there. And I feel like I've just been doing the work with, like, you know, seizing Shelby as a coach. That's helped my competitive edge a lot more too. So, you know, it's just with what I deal with bipolar, sometimes it's like, you know, you have that like downtime, or like I just try to stay in a routine and busy enough, or like focused on the task at hand always, so that like it doesn't allow me to crash, you know?
Yeah, because that thing is with mental issues. That's the thing that I think needs to be mentioned in this sport. That there's a lot of competitors who have, not just all athletes. Some have to deal with not just fighting another competitor. You have to fight the enemy within.
Yeah,
that's in your head,
first.
And that's something I think this sport needs to also talk about, because, you know, there's been some cases of suicide. There've been cases of people who just, you know, whatever reason, it just, you know, yeah.
Transparent as I can about it. I'm not ashamed of it. It's who I am. I've done so much work on myself to cope with this disorder without having to tap into any kind of pharmaceutical drugs. So that's, you know, what every single time I get out there every year, I just try to learn from the year before and try to do better, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this is some people, if you know anybody in your family who's dealing with mental issues, you know, sometimes it's good to just listen. You know, maybe they're not saying anything, just sit back and listen. Because sometimes that's all somebody needs, is somebody to listen to how they're feeling, what they're going through, and then try to give them help they can. And this thing is, you know, this is the thing that I think people should really think about, especially when you think about when you're a competitive athlete. You know, it's something that needs to be said. Once again, folks, Miss Lyons, information description. Also, she has a Venmo and a PayPal if you want to help out in her future upcoming season. Please, you know, any can assist you want to. Also, again, support these women. They, you know, they put in so much and get so little out of it. And as us fans, we need to let them know that we appreciate what you do. We respect who you are. We love you. You know, yes, some guys might have ideas about you, but those ideas are their ideals, not the same. And yes, there'll be some guys who might be a little too much into you. You know, I say this to some guys: if you do follow this lady, or you try to just do me a favor, no D pics.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't be that guy. You know, I did an interview.
Like, word on the street now should be known that girls don't want those.
Yeah, you know, we like
get them, make fun of them.
Yeah, as men, we like to reverse. We like to reverse. We're like that, but men, we're just, you know, we're creatures of nature and habit.
That might be a mental disorder.
Hey, we can't help it. You know, you remember we came out. You know, we spent 9 months inside of you, and the rest of life want to get back into you. That's the thing. Yeah, that's just the truth.
I do. I like these dick pics people. I was like, we gotta watch out for them.
Yeah, you know, and it's weird. You know, it's just I remember I was doing a video. I did, like we do every so often, do like a thing called Sunday discussion, right? Where I get some people together and we talk about. I did one this past Sunday. We talk about things, and during the time, there's a guy named Charles the Dragon Curtis. His wife is she just got a pro card where I get Elizabeth Curtis, and I was talking how no D pics, and Charles said he got one from somebody and sent one back.
with somebody. Someone was trying to message a girlfriend of mine while we were away, and our friend's boyfriend took the phone and started saying all this stuff to him, like trying to communicate back to him that he thought like made it look like it was like my friend talking to him, and it was just like it was hysterical. It was hysterical.
Yeah. So anyway, one thing we could do before we, because I know she just got back from, she was doing some stuff with a dog. Just got back. I know she really wanted to rest and chill out. We'll probably wrap up a little bit because I enjoyed this conversation when I talk with you ladies. And you know, I know you're busy. You got to go to work. You got a lot of stuff to do.
Today, thank God. Today and tomorrow. I just started. Actually, now that I'm in off season, I just started taking on clients too. So that's pretty exciting for me.
Yeah, and you do train because also you can find all you gotta do is when you search for Jodi, she's with the I think it's Massachusetts.
Yep.
Yeah, Massachusetts. You can find her. She's doing. I saw her doing work with Jill. Jill looks pretty good. Has Jill?
Well, Jill is so funny. We were joking all day Monday because everyone keeps saying like, "Where's Jill? Is she coming back? Like, what's going on? Where has she been?" She's been living life. Like Jill is very happy. She's just in a really good place, you know. Yeah. I just think that like she's competed like for so long, show after show after show. Sometimes it's okay to take that step back. Like I don't think she'll ever say I'm retiring because like I just don't think that you ever have to announce that you're retiring. It's just something that I wouldn't do because I live by the golden rule, never say never. Because sometimes when you say never, you do it, you know?
Because, recently the former Miss Olympia physique, Shanique Grant, she said step away. And like this, people say she step away, but, she's just 20-some years old. Let her go ahead and do what she's going to do. Yeah, have her kids. And then sometimes there's been plenty of women who step away from the sport and come back a few years later. Because sometimes...
This is where I'm getting at what I would like to go along with this is... with Shelby, I didn't realize that the Legion Sports Festival had masters like the Friday. It was like the Friday before the show on Sunday, and it was in the morning. And I just had to work the night before. I couldn't get off, so I just was deciding to fly in on Friday afternoon. But before that week, I reached out to Shelby and I was like, "Do you think I should do the masters?" Because it's like, Chris Mines at Legion Sports Fest is the #1 paying promoter for Masters. Like he pays big dollars for Masters wins. So I was like, you think I should do it? And he's like, Jodi, I think you should just focus on the Open because you're doing well in the Open. So why do something on Friday that, might not, and then you get a hold condition for 2 days till Sunday. Why don't we just focus on that? So, with that being said, it's like, the girls that have time on their side, like, yeah, you can come back and start doing masters. Like, you don't have to retire, unless like that's what you really want to do. And if you want to announce it, go right ahead. It's just not the way that I would do it. You know what I mean? I believe you just never know what could change down the road or like, I'm being able to like hang with these girls in the Open. Like you said, like I'll have plenty of years to be able to do masters.
And like one thing I know, a couple of ladies who I follow, they did both masters and Open at that show.
Yeah, I know. And I probably should have did it.
Well, you never take chances. All like I said, the Tampa that's coming up. They have women's 40 plus, and that bit, you can, if you want, you can do. You ever think about doing the Tampa?
I don't ever rule myself out not doing that. I turned pro as a master. I'm a master. You know what I mean? I'm just very blessed and grateful enough to be able to be hanging in a top 5 with the Open still. So I'm still trying to just focus like on that. But if I did a show with the thing that just kind of blew me away is that the master show was 2 days before the Open show. If it was like on the same day, I probably would have just done it. You know what I mean? But like to have the 2 days apart and then the travel out there, I couldn't get there because I had to work Thursday night.
Yeah. And I said this about masters. Masters should also, this thing is, I know it's not as popular as compared to Open, but Masters also should be Olympia qualifier. I know some competitors can, for those competitors who may not have the same genetics or the same styles for the Open division, there's some pretty women who I've seen who did pretty good at Masters. I think the Olympics should have that because they have amateurs
Sure.
You know, you can squeeze masters right in there.
Sure.
You know, yeah, that's fair.
I'm an advocate for that as well.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, folks, this was a great interview, and this is a lovely lady here. Miss Jodi Lyons. Big question is, what's your plan? I know you don't want to tell because but are you planning to hit 2022?
Yeah.
What's the look?
Take 6 to 8 months off. Like, I don't think I'm going to hit anything until probably the summertime, or the beginning, like I did of the fall, and maybe do the 2 back to back again, like the Rising. And I definitely would go back to Legions as well. I loved both of those shows, but to be honest, Sarah is having her 2nd annual show in Texas, and there's a big payout for first place, and I think that's going to be a very competitive show. Like, I think a lot of women will be heading into that. So that's like August 13th or something. So that would be something for me to start targeting.
And Texas is I said, like on my channel, Texas has become a growing mecca for bodybuilding. I mean,
Sure.
Not as big for women's bodybuilding, but more definitely big for your division.
Sure.
Yeah. So anyway, while we got you here, do you have anybody you want to thank, sponsors, anybody you want to shout out to?
Well, yeah, I mean, to be honest, like, I don't have sponsors. Like, I just have.
Oh yeah, I forgot you.
Really amazing friends that take care of a lot of things in my life. You know what I mean? And with the documentary as well, TED Productions, my friend Sherry, couldn't be able to do it without their support. It does get crazy and whatnot. But just my family and all the people that I have around me in my life right now, I'm very blessed and I'm grateful.
Well, what they would like to do, whenever the documentary comes out, I'm going to watch it. And then I'll have you, if you want to bring somebody on here as a guest, also have you come on with a personal guest, anybody you want to bring on, and comment.
She turned pro last year at Masters Nationals, 56 years old. She did her first pro figure show at the Atlantic Coast 2 weeks ago.
Oh, so if she, like I say, if she feels like whenever the what's the name of the documentary?
The documentary is going to be called Body of Work.
Okay, whenever it comes out, I'll watch it. I'll do a critique, and also have you. And if she's interested, if she's interested to come on, she can come on too, and we talk about it. Because I've done the same thing with Tisha and I Am the Tigress video, because it was great. I watched it. It was a lovely video. I enjoyed it, and it was an education about a lot of people don't. As myself, I'm learning a lot as from stuff from interviews and the behind the scenes stuff and asking questions about bodybuilding. I was just basically like any other person. I just a little stuff on the front. And I'm gonna tell you this real quick secret, and this is between you and everybody's gonna know this.
Actually, do me one favor. I can smell my muffins burning. Hold on.
Okay, she gotta get her muffins.
I gotta get muffins out.
Yeah, get the donuts.
I forgot that they were like in there for an hour.
Oh my God! I hope they're not burnt.
No, they're good. They're actually perfect, but I can smell them.
Yeah, I think I remember like when my mom couldn't do cooking anymore, I cooked 2 cakes for Christmas. She said they were ugly, but they taste good. And that's the first and only time I cooked the cake.
Now judge your book by its cover.
Yeah, but this is I'm gonna tell you this, and my people not knowing it, and I know I was mad at your friend Jill when she won Chicago because she beat one of my favorite bodybuilders. That was Jay Fuchs.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I was mad. I love Jay Fuchs. I was mad. I said, who is this chick? She's just like, who is she? Just come out here and beat Jay Fuchs. Who is she? I don't know who she is. Where's physique? Well, that's watered down with bodybuilding. I was just, but now I have become more educated. And I say, she has a great physique. Her quads were amazing. She had amazing quads.
And that girl, she doesn't miss a beat when she's in prep.
Yeah, and maybe someday when she feel like she's ready to come back, it'd be great to see her come back. Tell her she's welcome to come back. If she's ever interested in talking about her life, and I'm here because I love to give you ladies attention. Because the thing is, instead of getting like before, with the men, there's like 20 of men channels dedicated to them. And so few things dedicated to you ladies because you put in a lot of work. And you need to be recognized, and you deserve to be respected, not just as athletes, as women, as mothers, as wives, sisters, as women. And that's what you need. Also remember, fellas, these are women. No matter how much muscle they put on, don't forget that they're still women. Mm-hmm. And also, one more thing before we leave out, My rule again, like I said, her social media stuff in the description. My rule again is no D pics. We don't want to see your Vienna sausage. You don't want to see your anything. When you send something, send your beautiful lady, send support, do little stuff. Be supportive. If you can't, give support. Don't be that weird guy.
I don't think they're gonna take your advice.
Yeah, I know. It's no point. It's just talking to a wall. But anyway, I do appreciate your time, and I hope you have a great day. I hope you enjoy your muffins. And how's the weather up there in Boston?
It's 44 today.
Wow. I think it's 61, 66 down here in North Carolina.
Not bad today. I took my dog for like a nice walk with flannel and a vest on, and I was fine. Well, I had mittens on though, just in case. But I like this kind of weather. I'm almost enough.
Fighting among the kids, huh?
I'm almost like a bear when it comes to like the winter time. I like to hibernate. Okay, you're being noisy. Hey, stop.
No, it's fighting among the kids, folks. Fighting among the kids.
I'm gonna take the bed away.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you say your sister moved to Wilmington. Let me tell you some advice here. Down south, like I'm gonna do my joker real quick. Yeah. I'm gonna do it quick. With like up north, I know when it snows, like it'd be 6 feet, no one blacks an eye. But down south here, when it's just 6 inches, everybody goes crazy. And it's true, because if we don't get that much snow, and when it does snow, everybody goes out their mind. I've talked to people who come down here and say, "Man, it's only like barely 2 inches, and it's gone by the middle of the day." But that's how it is, because we're not so used to it yet. I think the worst time we ever had was maybe a foot of snow, and that's been like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, she's trying to get me to move down there. She's like, "You need to come down. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it." And I mean, my sister's been a Bostonian for 44 years and just upped and moved in 30 days and went down there.
But the thing is, like I figure, because the weather's a little better. I know a lot of bodybuilders who moved to Texas, California. And it's a great place to stay. Cost of living is a little cheaper compared to if you live in Boston. I had a nephew who lived in New York. He said he had a studio apartment, called him like maybe $2,000 a month to pay for that. And
the cost of living here is just so insane. Like
yes,
it's ridiculous, to be honest. But I'm entering a little bit more north. I'm about 20 minutes.
You lost the sound.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm back. I like New Hampshire a lot, so I might try that first. Like I like the wintertime. I like being able to hibernate for 3 months, or just go to the gym, come back home, and you don't feel like you're missing out on anything. When it's nice out every day, you feel like you're missing out on everything. You got to be out, But me, it's a good way for us to like hunker down and relax.
Well, I'm a big man. I'm like a bear too. I like to win a little bit, but when it gets summer, I start melting. I'll be a ghetto snowman. He's melted. He's a ghetto snowman.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Well, like I said, I do appreciate your time. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Like I said, whenever the documentary comes out, you can send me the information. I will watch it. You can bring in some people when we can do a little discussion of it. Because, like I said, anything to support women's bodybuilding, I am in for it.
Yeah.
In my channel.
We would love that. It probably, I think they're targeting like maybe summer of 2022 coming out.
So whenever, like I said, that'd be cool. And that'd be around by the time of your season. Maybe we can try to get you before you do any shows. And maybe, like I said, your friend also. And we hope to support you in the future. Now, folks, like I said, her information description. Also, she has a Venmo and a PayPal. If you want to make a donation, if you can, that's appreciated. If you can, but support these women, support Miss Lyons, all the ladies in the sport of bodybuilding, because they most definitely need it. Because you know what, it's hard to be a competitive bodybuilder, and it is expensive also. So anyway, like I said again, I'd like to thank Miss Jodi Lyons and for her time. I'd like to thank y'all for coming through, like my man Brooke Burrell, James Henry, and anybody who watches. Comment, subscribe, share, and just be a genuine person, all right? And once again, before I leave, I'm about to say this, guys, no D pics. So like I say, This is your man all the way at Joyce Page, aka the Emperor of Film Body Talk. Like, don't like, subscribe. We're out.